Hi and welcome. My name's Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Me. In this video, we're going to look at the print setting, the print preview, and print menu within Microsoft Excel and how you can use this to better understand what you're sending to the printer. So with that, let's get started. If you want to follow along, go ahead and open up exercise file 12.01. You can find a link to download this file in the description section of this video. So, new to Excel 2013 is the fact that when you press Control P or Control F2, either one will bring you to the same menu. So you press Control P, it will bring you to make sure that you have Excel active. And then when you go ahead and press Control P, that will bring you to the print preview, which is now part of the print menu. So if you didn't know the keyboard shortcut of Control P or you didn't want to use that keyboard shortcut, the way that you would get to the print or print preview is by coming up to the file menu, clicking the file menu and going to print. And once you click print, you will be brought to this screen or a screen that's quite similar on your computer. And there's 3 or 4 sections that we could kind of consider. The first is what's called the print section here, which in my mind has 2 important pieces. One is this print button here. If you press that, it will be sent to the printer. In our case, it would be the Corsaria printer. Now, the second important piece is how many copies you want to print. You can either click this icon and manually change them, or you could select it and then input that icon or that amount. The second piece here is the printer. So the individual print profiles, you can click this icon here and change it. So if you wanted to print it as a PDF, you could do that. If you had Adobe PDF, if you wanted to send it as a fax, or depending on what printer drivers and printers you have installed on your computer, you could select one. This little green icon will mean that it's kind of the default choice of Microsoft Excel, and you can always kind of change that. So let's imagine that we wanted to print it as a PDF. Then you have the settings here, which we'll discuss in a second, but going to the right portion of the screen, there's essentially the print preview, and there are a couple of key pieces of information that you'll want to consider. One is the number of pages that you'll be printing. So in this case, we will be printing 2 individual pages. So this is the page 1 of 2 view, and then a second page would look like that. So the kind of other elements of the print preview that you might want to look at is these are your current margins. So if something was bleeding over or going past your margins, you'd be able to see that with this little view. And we activated that by clicking show margins. If we click it a second time, the margins or the outlines will disappear. If we want to be able to zoom in, we could click this button here in the bottom right corner of the Microsoft Excel interface, and that would allow us to zoom in so that we can get a closer look. Click this and it will go back to that 1-page view. And over here are some of the more important settings that we'll discuss in a later video. But here on the print menu or the print interface, we have the settings of whether or not we want to print our active sheet or perhaps all sheets in an entire workbook, or even just a specific selection that you've made. We'll leave it for now as print active sheet. Then if there were specific pages, we could say print page from page 1 to 100. In our case, there's only 2 pages, so it wouldn't really make sense. We could say print page 1 of 2, or we could say print page 1 of 1. Collated means, essentially if you look at these icons, collated means that it would print multiple copies, but it would print the first page, the second page, and the third page of copy 1, the first page, second page, third page of copy 2, so on and so forth. Or you could have uncollated, which would look like that. As we'll discuss in a later video, you can change the page orientation from portrait to landscape here. You can change the type of paper that you'll be using or printing on. You can change the different individual margins, which we'll discuss in a later video. And then the idea of scaling. So this is currently going to be printed on 2 pages because it's essentially a little bit smushed, or there are too many columns. But you could ask it to scale to fit to 1 page, or fit all columns on 1 page, which we might do here, or all rows on 1 page, which if we had this exact data set, it wouldn't really matter. So that in a nutshell is the idea of the print setting and print preview within Microsoft Excel. We got there by either using the keyboard shortcut of Control P, or we can come to the File menu, click the File menu, then go to Print, and that too would bring it up. When we were here, we looked at if we wanted to actually send it to the printer, we would click this button. You can change the number of copies. We have different settings, and then here is the print preview function. So with that, we will see you in the next video, in which we'll discuss the idea of the print page layout in terms of things like the size, orientation, and margins of a page. So join us for that in the next video, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.